The woman, 27, whose identity has not been revealed, arrived on a flight from Addis Ababa and was arrested on suspicion of preparation of terrorist acts under Section 5 of the Terrorist Act 2006. It is thought this is the first case of its kind involving a mother and a child born into the ISIS regime. MI5 has previously said around 850 extremists from Britain traveled to the Middle East as ISIS took control of pockets of Syria and Iraq. And as the terror group is flushed out of its former strongholds, many of its militants with British passports are returning home with their families. The mother is the latest in a string of arrests made by British counter-terror police bracing itself for an influx of jihadi brides. The child, who is younger than 2-year-old, has been taken into care, according to the Sunday Times. It is understood the woman flew from Ethiopia in an attempt to cover her tracks, but counter-terror officers were waiting at the airport for her when she landed. A Metropolitan Police spokesman said she was detained under pace and taken to a South London police station, where she currently remains in police custody. Last year, ministers stripped more than 150 jihadists of their citizenship and banned them from Britain, as intelligence chiefs warned they may return from war-torn Syria and unleash a new wave of attacks. Many of those returning were trained in the use of explosives and firearms as they took part in ISIS's bloody rampage. Time is running out for the government to act before ISIS falls, as it can only strip citizenship of those who will not be left stateless. In May, security sources said around 350 ISIS fighters had already come back to the UK from Syria and estimate another 300 could yet return. Among the blacklisted British citizens still thought to be living within ISIS territory are Omar Hussain, a former Morrison's supermarket security guard turned jihadi recruiter from High Wycombe, Aqsa Mahmood, a Glaswegian who went to Syria to marry an ISIS fighter aged 20, and London-born Muslim convert Grace Dare, whose ISIS husband Abu Bakr has since been killed. She was killed in an airstrike in June, but the future of her son Jojo, who appeared in ISIS's sick propaganda videos, is unclear. The British ex-wife of a top US ISIS member stunned Piers Morgan during a tense TV interview this week by admitting she still loves the jihadist and insisting he has a good side. Tania Joya became radicalized while growing up in Harrow, London, but now lives in Dallas, Texas, after fleeing from the terror group and rejecting extremism. But during a grilling on ITV's Good Morning Britain today, presenter Piers Morgan said he was struggling to understand why she should not be considered a potentially dangerous person. The interview came to an abrupt end with the DailyMail.com US editor-in-chief and co-presenter Susanna Reid shaking their heads as the former jihadi bride admitted still loving ex-husband John Jurgella's an American-born convert to Islam with whom she has 4 children. Joya said she was pretty sure Jurgella's was still fighting for ISIS in Syria but that he had given her 4 beautiful, lovely children and insisted everybody has a good side, everybody has a bad side. On March 22, Khalid Massoud killed 5 people when he plowed a hire car into pedestrians on Westminster Bridge before launching a knife attack in the capital. Just over 2 months later on June 3, a copycat attack on London Bridge claimed the lives of 8 victims when Khurram Butt, Rachid Redawan and Youssef Zagbi used a van and knives to slaughter people in Borough Market. It came days after Salman Abedi blew himself at Manchester Arena using a homemade bomb, killing 22 Ariana Grande fans who were piling out of the venue on May 22. A series of other terror plots, whose perpetrators traveled to the ISIS wars and have been thwarted, including that of so-called Sergeant Eric Tassing, who wanted to attack police.